Hi guys and welcome back to Yashi. Today with a real estate market update. In this video here I'm going to talk about the US real estate market, where we are compared to 2021, where we might be going in the next year, and we're going to compare some different data sets because if you look around, the data seems to be a little different and confusing, but the trends are very similar. So let's get started here. I'm onto the redfin.com US market data. This is something that is always available. It gets updated with the months. It gets updated on a monthly basis. If you look, for example, at realtor.com, on the other hand, it's updated on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So let's get started here. So interestingly, Redfin is the one with the worst housing market data in terms of housing prices. If you look at here, the median sale price in November 2022, in this case, it's only up 2.6% compared to last year, which doesn't make sense because if you look at other data sets, the numbers are actually much better, much more positive. Now, if you think about, if you listen to people saying that there is a crisis, well, even Redfin, which is the most negative data set, actually says that prices still increased in 2022, even if everybody's talking about a recession. Now, it did not increase at the 10%, let's say 12%, 15% ratio we saw during May of 2022, but it still increased by a more healthy 2.6%. Now, if you look at other data sets, Fred, which is the government site, still is saying pretty much the same. It's talking about, actually no, the data is much better in this case. If we look at Q3 of 2022, home prices 454,000. This is the median home price in the US. If you look at Q3 of 2021, we're up $40,000. That is almost a 10%. Actually, that is a 10% increase. So the government side is actually much more optimistic than the data of Redfin. Why? I don't know. That's for you to figure out. Now let's go on the next one. One ratio that most of the media outlets have been talking about have been the average sales of homes in the past year compared to last year. And I have to say, the trend is pretty much seeable, viewable across all the data sites. In this case, we see that the home sales of 2022 were down 35% compared to 2021 in the same, let's say, month. In this case, it's November. They've been going down a lot. Why? Probably because of interest rates going up a lot. On the other hand, also because we have less homes available than pre-pandemic. The average say mortgage rate is still under 7%. It reached 7% in October, although here again is not super correct. We saw interest rates above 7% for a while in October, but after two consecutive good CPI reports and the Federal Reserve starting to slow down their interest rates increases, we're now under 7%. Banks are starting to stabilize. We'll see if the trend continues or if the Fed will push everything up again. Now on to my favorite ratio in the housing market, the one that nobody's focusing on. The reason why I keep on saying that home prices will either stay where they are or go up. Now, you see me talking a lot about demand and supply. The concept is if you have more supply of homes for the same amount of people, home prices have to go down because you need to incentivize to sell a house, incentivize buyers to buy a house from you by giving better prices. It's like going to the outlet compared to going to a normal shop. You tend to shop more in an outlet because prices are lower and there's more supply. And this is exactly why I believe that the housing prices will stabilize or go up, because if you look at the trend, the newly listed homes, so the amount of homes that are being listed on a monthly basis, is falling down a cliff. I mentioned this already in May. It started happening from June on. If you look at here, in June we had 800,000 new listings on a monthly basis, and now they dropped all the way to 361,000. Sellers are not selling. The only homes that are being sold right now is the builders trying to push out the last homes that were in construction the past couple of months, but home supply is falling off a cliff. And if you're looking at homes for sale, the trend went up. So more homes went on the market and less buyers were buying. So we had more and more supply coming up. But as the newly listed homes started to go down more and more, the trend started reverting again. The question is, will we get to a home supply worse than 2021? Or will we get to still a low supply but a better position compared to last year? I believe that the home supply will get worse than 2021 because if you look at this trend, this is one of the worst trends we've seen in the past 5 years, literally falling off a cliff continuously without any, let's say, stoppage or slowing down. Median days on the market has increased, of course, because demand has been going down, people cannot afford a house. However, it is starting to plateau, may come down again as the newly listed homes will keep on going down. Month of supply has increased by 1 month, we're now at 3. A healthy market should have at least 6 to 8 months of supply. So we are less than half than what a healthy market would be. Is that good news for buyers? No, it is very bad news for buyers. It is very good news for sellers to know that they are still in a very competitive seller's market. US housing demand down by a lot. This is the reason why the home supply went up for a while, but now it's going down because of supply issues, but the demand has been crushed by quite a lot, mostly because of home affordability problems. We're gonna look at other data sets. So when we talked about the Redfin data in the beginning, according to Redfin, home prices only increased less than 3% in 2022. If you look at government data, it's actually 10%. If you're looking at Y charts, it's another site here. Today's price is actually November 2022, 370,000 compared to November 2021, where we were, I hate saying that phrase, 350K. So the increase is less than 10%, more around 7. Last but not least, we're gonna go on our Realtor.com data that shows us a different picture. According to Realtor.com, and this is the most recent data you can find online right now because their updates are on a weekly basis. December 17, 2022, this is the last data we received. Home prices increased 8.7% compared to last year. So we are under the 10-digit increase, but we're still at double or even almost triple the average increase of home prices on a yearly basis according to the last 100 years, which is around 3%. So home prices are still increasing more than what they should according to Realtor.com. Active listing count is 58% more than 2021. So yes, home supply has been going up, but not dramatically. And if you look at the trend here, it is increasing at a slower and slower pace because if you look at new listing count, as we saw in the trend with Redfin, less homes are being listed on the market, mostly from, let's say, builders, but less and less from homeowners that are selling the house to buy a new one. Why? Because there's no incentive for them to sell their house to upgrade to a new one, as they probably locked in on interest rates around 3%, and now interest rates are double, and the home prices have been sky high for a while. So getting a new house, upgrading is not incentivized, and they got a really good deal in the past. Median days on the market, 9. 9 is the median days on the market of a house. So the market is still competitive. It has been going up, but it is still competitive. Price reduced, another ratio that is very interesting to see. I don't really know how to read this. However, if you look at numbers, you see that there is a reduction in the percentage. Less and less homes are being reduced in price in the past month, probably because we're now starting to see a more competitive seller's market. The sellers are starting to get a little bit more control. They're figuring out that this is the new status quo. They're starting to understand that there are not a lot of homes for sale. And although the media is telling them otherwise, there's not a lot of homes for sale. The perfect example is the city I invest in, which is Lynchburg, Virginia. In a city of 70,000 people, there are only 150 homes for sale. And in terms of affordable homes for sale, so houses under 200K, it's less than 40. 40 homes for sale for a market of 70,000 people. I know that everybody doesn't want to buy a house right now, but it's definitely more than 40 people in that city. So generally speaking, the data is looking very good for sellers from a US perspective. Even though everybody's talking about a crisis, we still saw a very high increase in, let's say, median listing price. Even the most negative of data sets, which is Redfin right now, is still showing a positive number. So is this really a recession for the housing market? Or are they starting to play, or is media playing around with numbers and scaring people off, trying to force them to sell or starting to force them to drop prices? I don't know, that's for you to decide. Fact is that the data is still positive, home prices went up, even if interest rates doubled, there's no homes for sale, and the trend is showing that the housing supply is still going down and might go down even worse than what we saw in 2021. Guys, this is all for now for the US housing market. I will release a video more specific about my area, which is Northern Virginia, very soon. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Ciao.